Buenos Aires. A radical libertarian and fan Donald Trump rode a wave of voter anger to win Argentina's presidency. On Sunday, crushing political establishment and ushering in sharpest turn to right in country's 4 decades. Democracy. Choose your plan. Right. Javier Milei, a 53-year-old Farite economist and former television commentator with no governing experience, received about 56% of the vote, with more than 80% of the votes counted. It was a surprising upset for Sergio Massa, the center-left economy minister who is trying to resolve the country's worst economic crisis in 2 decades. Before the official results were announced on Sunday night, Massa conceded defeat and congratulated Milei on his win. Voters in this country of 46 million demanded radical change from a government that had devalued the peso, soared inflation and thrown more than 40% of the population into poverty. Argentina takes a step into the unknown with Milei, with a leader promising to dismantle the entire system. On the campaign trail, the chainsaw-wielding madman Milei vowed to cut public spending in a country heavily dependent on government subsidies. His rallying campaign cry was elimination of the country's political caste, Argentinian version of Trump's drain swamp slogan. Political analyst Pablo Tuzan said Massa was symbol of the ruling elite. King of caste. The career politician first sought to distance himself from leftist government of Alberto Fernandez and Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, heirs to the populist dynasty founded by Juan and Eva Evita Perón in 1940s. Alongside a grassroots campaign by activists, Massa has sought to raise fears over Milei's presidency, which they say could threaten Argentina's democracy and way of life. But in the end, anger won out over fear. For many Argentinians, the greater risk was the same. We have nothing to lose, said Tomás Lamodio, a 36-year-old business owner who voted for Milei in Buenos Aires on Sunday. We've had this type of government for years and things are getting worse. Milei's presidency would bring far-right to power in Latin America's third-largest economy, which could have profound effects on the region and world. On a continent dominated by leftist leaders, Milei could create tensions with the governments he attacks, including major trading partner and neighbor Brazil. At a time when Chinese influence is growing in Latin America, Milei may become the region's most vocal foe against a country he once called an assassin. Milei made name for herself as a television pundit who insulted other guests and had tendency to pick fights with the news media. He spread conspiracy theories and made false claims of election. The Argentinian branded Pope Francis a bad leftist. Many Argentines chose to ignore Milei messages that made them uncomfortable. For some, voting for an outsider was a reluctant but strategic decision. The thought is good. Maybe Milei will launch herself like a